And good morning, friends. Welcome to Christian Education Today. The revolution in education in Illinois continues. I'm Pastor Calvin Lindstrom. I'm happy to be with you. I've talked before about the nature of revolutions, and we are living through a very long legal, spiritual, educational revolution in our nation. And in some areas, you realize how much that revolution, we can say, has progressed. Our church and ministry have been based in Illinois since the 1960s. This is where God has us. Illinois, in many ways, is a mirror for the nation as a whole. You have the South and the North brought together in Illinois. You have big government in Chicago and Springfield. You have those who want to get out of Illinois and get as far away from Springfield and Chicago as possible. So Illinois, in many ways, is sort of um, the nation in miniature, we might say. And sadly, what we see reflected in Illinois is this revolutionary spirit. And in just about a week, a rather small legislative body called the JCAR, Joint Committee Administration on Rules, is having a meeting to determine new educational standards for the state of Illinois. And I want to share how revolutionary these new standards are. In their own words, the Illinois Family Institute has done a great job getting the word out about what is taking place in Illinois. But I wanted to share this because I think it's illustrative of what is taking place, not just in Illinois, but in other parts of the nation. I'll share my screen here. And this is called, you notice, the Illinois Culturally Responsive Teaching and Leading Standards. Just that title alone should make you suspicious of what is going on. Notice what these standards teach. Let's just look at number one. Understand and value the notion that multiple lived experiences exist, that there is not one correct way of doing or understanding something, and that what is seen as correct is most often based on our lived experiences. So this is a totally radical view of knowledge. There is no ultimate standard. It's just based on our lived experience. Imagine you're in a math class and you say, well, this is the answer based on my lived experience. Or in a science class, well, I think this is how I feel. Statements like this really are indicative of a revolutionary idea of what knowledge is. So these standards are to direct teachers. Teachers have to become agents of a revolutionary spirit. Let me show you that. Teachers must recognize how their identity, race, ethnicity, national origin, language, sex and gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, physical, developmental, emotional abilities, socioeconomic class, religion, etc., affects their perspectives and beliefs about pedagogy and students. Teachers must assess how their biases and perceptions affect their teaching practice and how they access tools to mitigate their own behavior. Racism, sexism, homophobia, unearned privilege, Eurocentrism. If you are a white teacher in the state of Illinois, you must recognize you are a racist, you have unearned privilege, and that you are Eurocentric. That is the nature of this very revolutionary change. And as I say, in about a week, a legislative body will be meeting, a small legislative body, to determine whether these new standards will go into effect. Illinois will be among the leaders of what we call the woke movement, and there is no doubt that the changes taking place in Illinois will influence other states. I think it is important that we recognize how vast has been the attack on sanity in our nation. Think about this. In the state of Montana, and I would say Montana probably is a relatively conservative state, there was legislation that would ban the mutilation of children through this wicked transgender movement. And the Republicans in Montana have control of the legislature, but they were forced to back down from, you might say, very common sense legislation, even in a place like Montana. The revolutionary spirit that wants to reshape children's minds and bodies is very much alive. So what we're seeing in Illinois, I think sadly, will become a template for others. Even if you don't live in Illinois, I hope you are aware of what is taking place as best you can. And if you think about it, pray for those of us who remain in Illinois. This is where the Lord has placed us and called us. There are, I mean, the Lord has given opportunities for families living in Illinois. Thankfully, we are still a very homeschool friendly state. So it's not that we are living under total tyranny, but you can see the educational system has been totally hijacked, and more, all teachers must be agents of the revolution, lest they lose their teaching license. This is going to be terrible, not only for students, but for those Christian teachers who do remain. This is going to force them to have to make a choice. Will they give in to the revolutionary spirit? And according to this legislation, they must, or they could lose their teaching license. If you are a conservative Christian, you need not apply to become part of the educational system. That is what we are seeing in Illinois. That is why this is very concerning and frightening. Friends, we always look to the Lord. If we look to ourselves, if we just look to this world, it is very bleak, it is very dark. But we recognize we are not called to ease in this life. Wherever the Lord has placed you, look to Him, seek to serve Him, be aware of what is taking place so that you can teach your own children to walk in the ways of the Lord. For Christian Liberty, I am Pastor Kevin Lindstrom. We'll see you next week about this time. May the Lord watch over you and bless you.